And we're live. And as usual, I've probably run over a little bit because Lisa and I were chin wagging. Sorry, people. Sorry, everyone, that we're late. And welcome to the show. And as you all know, I have been on a mission since lockdown to interview some amazing people in my network. And Lisa is one such person. Now, Lisa and I know each other from Mini Me Yoga. She is a trained ambassador. And as most of you will know, all of our ambassadors are experts in their own right. So they all look after children, have children's mental emotional well-being. They are trained teachers. Some of them are psychotherapists, some of them are nannies, some of them are doctors. You know, the list goes on and on and on. So each one has their area of expertise and has trained as a Mini Me Yoga ambassador to have those extra tools in their tool belt. And then they go and share those with their communities, their teachers and parents and such like. Now, because I'm in such a great position of, getting to meet all of these amazing people, I just wanted to share their expertise with you. And Lisa, I am very, very happy to have you on the show because we have got, I think, something very topical that we're going to be talking about. But first of all, Lisa, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do and your background?
Okay, so thank you for having me. It's very exciting to be here. So I am a teaching assistant. I work in a girls' school, so this is quite close to my heart because I feel girls are definitely this is a very topical subject for them. I've also nannied. I was with a family for over 12 years, so I don't have any children of my own, but I've pretty much brought those children up. I've worked in nurseries, schools. I've worked with children for over 23 years. Always wanted to work with children since I was about 8 or 9. So yeah, it's definitely a passion. It's all I can do in life is working with children, and I just feel so passionate about giving them a good start and the pressures that are there now for them that weren't there when we were younger, their freedom, their childhood's pretty much taken away compared to what we had. So I just think it's important to be able to give them the tools and give them the right frame of mind to be able to cope with life and it's about self-esteem and self-belief and just believing them in themselves. That's what I feel quite strongly about and building them up to know that they are worth it.
Yes. And isn't this, in this time, obviously we're in a lockdown again, and this is, I don't know, is it number 2 or number 3 or whatever lockdown we're in? Who's counting at this point? Who's counting? And so pre-lockdown, we had a situation where younger children were being more exposed to social media, different platforms, whether it's Snapchat, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's, I don't know them all. I'm going to be honest. I don't know them all. But whatever it is. And, what we were seeing on the ground was that children were becoming more anxious and have more anxiety and more pressure on the way that they behaved and the way they looked and the way they were accepted in those circles. Now, fast forward, here we are in lockdown. And of course, what do we have to keep us company? Yes. And some studies have shown that this has really escalated the issues that we are seeing with both young boys and girls who are using social media, a huge amount of the time. Of course, we know that all social media isn't all bad. We're going to discuss that. But from your experience, and you work with children very closely and have done for many years. So you've worked with them pre-social media and then now afterwards. Can you tell us from your own experience what you've noticed and how children are reacting?
I think there's been a massive shift in having phones, having cameras, selfies weren't a thing, probably 10 years ago. You tried to do it with your camera and mess half your head off and, you couldn't check what it was like. So I think you only have to look at children taking selfies and they're pouting and they're positioning and they've got the ring lights, they've got everything because every picture has to be perfect. And I think as an adult, it's hard as an adult. And, I know from taking selfies, you know, I've worked with different companies where you're selling stuff online, you're taking selfies and you want to get the best picture, and you could take a million pictures, and, you know, that one picture might look good, but you know that you've taken a lot to get there, and it's not a true reflection of what real life is. And I just think the whole thing with the Instagram, everything, people, it's all about the likes. You know, I mean, I've got an Instagram account which I just use it for fun. And the children that I've looked after will say, oh, well, you've only got 4 likes on that. I've got this many followers, or I've got this. It's like, but you don't know those people, or it doesn't matter. But as an adult, you can accept it doesn't matter how many people like something, how many followers you've got. It's not relevant. But as a young child, it's all about how many people are following you, how many people approve, how many people are. If you go through young people's profiles, it's all very much, oh, you look gorgeous, you look amazing. It's all about what people look like. And I just find it quite upsetting that the influencers, we were just talking about positive influencers, and, you know, for me, if I was to follow somebody on social media, a positive influencer is someone who's posting positive stories or positive quotes, uplifting things, body positive things, not somebody who looks like everybody else who's on a reality TV show. That's if they're an influencer, I don't know what they're influencing. I don't know what exactly it covers. Whereas somebody that you admire, that's got a talent, that is sharing that talent in a positive way, I feel quite strongly about the body positive side of things. And, you know, seeing all these pictures, that are edited or filtered, are just not real. Even I, as an adult, saw something the other day shared with people before makeup and after makeup, and I was shocked that the same person just looked like a completely different person. And it even made me think, oh wow, actually, you know, don't take it at face, even though you know not to. It was proof that it's so powerful. And so it just, I don't know, it's not a true representation. And I just feel like these children are growing up feeling that they have to look like this or be like that or wear these clothes or behave in this certain way. And it's, it's hard.
Yeah, it's interesting because I remember when I was growing up, it was, I was at that generation where the first kind of supermodels were coming through. So I was on the tail end of Cindy Crawford, who had gorgeous figure, lovely looking, amazing, beautiful woman. And then we kind of moved into the heroin chic, and that's what it was called, heroin chic. I don't know if people remember this in the UK. And it was this look, it was this very it was this look where you were so thin, the Kate Mosses and the girls like that who are naturally, I guess, like that. I'm not saying it's, there's nobody that isn't naturally like that, but I kind of understand, because we had those in magazines and we had them on billboards, but we didn't have them 24/7 in our face. Like, we had them, when we bought the magazines. And we were like, oh yeah, I really want, that's what I, want to look like. So that was a big influence on us, even back then. And I'm talking over 30 odd years ago. I mean, that's, it's a long time ago. And so fast forward now, we've got that constantly in our face and that constantly there. Now, as you were saying, there are some really positive things out there, aren't there? There are some people that are promoting amazing things. And you were just mentioning, could you mention like some of the things that you found that have really helped you and been really a positive influence?
So I found, I don't know if you've heard of the film Embrace. Have you heard of that film? Yeah, so I went to an evening, a friend hosted an evening showing that, and I really found it amazing. It really kind of opened my eyes, and I thought, yeah, there's people that are, fit and healthy, but they're not a tiny size, but they are fit and healthy. There are obviously people that are, look amazing, but they're not healthy. And it's I know people say, oh, it's not about being thin, it's about being healthy, but you can be healthy and look different to someone who's not healthy. There's lots of people that are probably look amazing, but they're still smoking, they're, taking drugs, doing whatever, not living a healthy lifestyle. And so I think it's just, it's just really hard because everything is judged on what people look like. And I always think if I go out with my friends, we're very different. You know, we go out, we've all got our own style, we've all got different hairstyles, different clothes. You know, we all have a different look. Whereas I've noticed if you go out and look at the younger generation, I know I sound really old now, but a lot of them, they look like clones. And I just feel like individuality is lost. It's not about being a goth or, being different and standing out. It's just about being you. And I think it's that thing about just celebrating you, but not just what you look like, but what you offer and what you give, and praising people, especially children, for their kindness. And, it's easy to go, oh, I love your hair, I love this. And then it's focusing on all the physical features. And I think giving somebody praise because of what they've done, or that you were a really good friend when you did that, I think that is more beneficial. And if you can build that inner confidence and strength, then hopefully that will help with everything else. And I just think, I don't remember ever looking at supermodels and thinking, oh, I wish I looked like them. I was too busy buying boy band magazines and sticking posters and take that on my wall. And it was all about, I was going out with my friends because that's what you did. And I'm glad that social media wasn't around when I was younger, and when we were out and somebody had just whipped a camera out and taken a photo of you, in an awkward position. It's just a whole different world. And it's I think as adults we're quite lucky because we can remember what it was like before, and remember and embrace social media as it's meant to be. And I love it because I don't live in my hometown, so I've got friends all over the world. I don't have time to text them all every day and tell them what I've been up to, but we keep in touch with each other's lives, and they know if I've been to see McFly or I've done this, or people often go, I love catching up with your adventures. And to me, that's what social media should be about, is that contact. It's hard because during lockdown, I've looked at social media, and I'm single, I live on my own, I don't have a family, and to me lockdown was all just, everyone's in their garden, they've all ordered a hot tub, they're all sat there with their children, they've built a bar in the garden, everyone's living this fantastic life, and I'm just here in my flat with no outside space. And it was beginning to damage me, and I knew that wasn't true. I knew that was just a snapshot. But if I, as an adult, struggle with that, then it's really, really hard for children to differentiate between what's real and what's not. And I just think it's just trying. And obviously the difficult thing is with children, especially teenagers, they all know better than us. We don't know what we're talking about. There's no risk in this, there's no risk in that, nobody would ever do this, that would be ridiculous. And they don't want to listen to us, and they will learn the hard way. And it's just heartbreaking when you just see the way that people, you've got keyboard warriors that are always, giving it loads and comments to people that are not kind. And I don't know, I just always think if you haven't got something kind to say, or it's not helpful, then don't say it. And I try to teach that to children. Just ask yourself, is this helpful to me or the other person? And you might think, oh, I don't like their dress, or I don't like this, but if it's not helpful, just keep it to yourself. You don't need to share that. So I think it's about just empowering them to believe in themselves and have self-respect before they can respect others, really.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I mean, I worked in television and film for many years, and what I noticed is that, when we are, filming something, we're taking that shot maybe, a gazillion times before it's right, and that's the same with photos, isn't it? So what we're seeing in that moment, as you were saying, isn't a true reflection of, what we actually look like and what's actually going on. And it's just a snap, a moment in time. It's just a moment in time. And of course, we're always going to post the good things on Facebook. Mainly, we're going to, post those moments of high, those high moments. So a discernment for children is key. How can we deliver that for younger children? What are some of the things that you put in place around this? Or, is there boundaries set with social media that we should be looking at? Or is there a mindset, is there something that we can, work with the actual children? What would you suggest?
Oh, it's difficult. I think talking and showing examples of a picture filtered and not filtered, showing examples of, there's people post. I've seen various videos done where are examples of Instagram, for example. Someone's posted a picture of this really healthy dinner, then they've thrown it in the bin and eaten a burger, and so it's this whole, just because you've taken this photo, I'm sat here, I am fully clothed, but I might be in my pajama bottoms, you don't know. I'm not, but that's the whole point of that. You can only see this part of what people want to see. And so I think you have to visually show them and use the filters to say, look, this is before, this is after. How do you feel any different by so many people liking things? If your hair was longer, if you were thinner, would you be happier? Why would you be happier? What would make you happier? And so I think it's trying to find some kind of happiness within, to show that what you look like or what other people think of you isn't going to define how you feel. But it is really, really hard to do that. And I think a lot of that does come with age and experience. So it is really hard to be able to teach them that. I don't know if there is an answer to it, apart from just constantly reminding how important it is to see the person and not the picture, and make people, and maybe follow people that are positive influences and look at what they're doing and say, right, they've made a difference because, this child's made a difference because they've saved all their pocket money and they've gone out and bought food for a food bank. How do you think that makes them feel? Why don't you do it? And giving them experiences to try and feel good about themselves because they're helping other people, regardless of, what other people think.
Yeah, I love that. I was chatting to you earlier about my niece. She likes the silks, that you climb up. She likes all that, and she follows one of these influencers. I can't remember the girl's name, but anyway, my niece was telling me all about her, and she said, and she's all self-taught, and she can do this and she can do that, and then this is what she can do, and then so I've been training myself to do it, and I was like, that's so amazing. And my niece is really good, but it's because she's actually had that inspiration from that young girl who's been filming and posting about her journey, and hey, I'm doing this, you can do it too, you can train yourselves, you don't have to go to fancy classes, or you don't have to do, if you haven't got that resource, if you can't do it, then this is what you can do. And I thought, wow, that's really amazing. I love stuff like that. And me personally as well, I have been influenced by so many people online, like inspired by them. And I thought, goodness, isn't that amazing? They've done, I don't know, working with different charities or this or that. And it's really inspired me to do that. So I do get, and I do really understand how, when used in a positive manner, it can really have a wonderful effect. Have you had any experiences like that yourself in terms of a positive influence?
I can't think of anybody in particular, but I think if I look back to growing up, I like to do a bit of karaoke and, wanted to be in steps and all that kind of thing. But it's all about, for me, it was all about who'd got the best voice, so I might, I used to do a lot of karaoke songs. So I would just choose the songs that I liked, the singer, the female songs. It would be about their voice. It wouldn't be about what they looked like or what they wore or anything like that. So I think I'm more about looking at somebody's talent and wanting to aspire to be like them because of what they can offer rather than what they look like. So I guess, I don't know, I think I'm quite lucky that I'm not easily influenced. So it is then hard to put yourself in the position of people that are. And I think maybe even, I mean, some people are just amazingly talented, and you watch these girls doing makeup tutorials and you just think, wow. I mean, I just, I put my makeup on, that's it. I'm not doing anything fancy. But even that could be turned into a positive, like, okay, well, why don't you create a different look, create, go down the kind of face painting route of, okay, now you can take that and create something else from it rather than just wearing makeup. Does that make sense? So you could just then go, okay, let's give you a theme to work on, because it is a talent to be able to do things like that. But I think it's not just about putting it on and then pouting and doing it to get comments and likes. I think if somebody was to comment on your talent, it's a better value for them. So
yeah, definitely. So okay, so if so say in your own world, when you're working with the children, what type of exercises or techniques are you using with them now, to get them through COVID, to get them through, just being a teenager, or to, whatever age they are? What's been your number one, your go-to tool, tool belt? What's helping you? Something that we can share with the parents and teachers that might be tearing their hair out right now.
I really think that trying to work on a growth mindset is the best thing to do. And, there's children saying, I can't do this, I can't do that. And I'm teaching about the power of yet. It's like, no, you can't do it, but you can't do it yet. And I say, well, I can't run a marathon. I know I can't run a marathon, but then I need to tell myself I can't run it yet, because I know that actually, if I wanted to, I don't want to, and trained hard. So even just
here first,
I am not running a marathon, but I've done things with children, for example, on climbing equipment, where I've tried really hard to get them, to encourage them to, come on, you can do this. What's the worst that can happen? You might fall off, I'll catch you. And they've done it. And as soon as they've done it once, they're back on it and they're round. And it's just an amazing feeling to see them go, I can do this, I can do this, after going, I can't do it, I'm going to fall off. And just with that encouragement and support, and knowing that there's someone there to catch them, literally, if they fall, they've done it. And after they've done it and they've walked across that balance bar the first time, they get up and they go across it, and they are so proud of themselves, and you're so proud of them. And I think it's just teaching them to never give up on anything. And it's such a simple thing, the power of yet, but I think it's becoming more and more popular. More people are talking about a growth mindset, and it's so easy to have a fixed mindset and, oh, I can't do this, can't do that. And especially as you get older, but you're not too old to change that. And so you can say, I can't do it yet, and give your time chance to grow, and work out steps of how you're going to do it, and help them break it down. So, right, okay, so you can't do that. So I think it's about support and encouragement, and just words of encouragement and praise. I don't, not rewarding. I don't think they need to be rewarded with material things. It's about the reward of being proud that they've achieved it. And once they've done that, you really do feel, once you've achieved something, you do feel amazing, and like you can tackle anything. And I think giving them that tool is one of the most powerful things that you can do. And they get knocked down, they get back up, and just resilience is probably the biggest thing we need to get through life. Resilience and kindness are probably the most important things to teach children. And I think that's all you could ask for. And I'd much rather hear that a child has got a certificate for being kind, or helping their friend, or never giving up, than getting all their times tables right, or getting all their spellings right. I think, yes, I know there's a lot of pressure on the academic side of things, but there's more it goes down to the emotional intelligence as well, and there's lots of very highly intellectual people in high places, but if you don't have the emotional intelligence, you're not going to be able to be successful, because to be successful, even to run a successful business, you need people that are going to work with you and respect you. And if you are showing them compassion, people will always give more if they know that it's appreciated. And if you don't have the emotional intelligence to do that and the skills to be able to support that, then I think you're not going to get as far as having degrees and everything in every subject. You need to have more to get to be truly successful in life, which is comes down to what is successful. But I think being happy is the biggest success that you can have.
I agree. I was just having a conversation with with Harry, with my son, and he's deciding on which universities he wants to go to, and he was saying, yeah, but this is a better degree, I need to get this. And I said, there's a lot more to actually being employed and working in something that you love than getting the best degree. That they're going to be looking at you as an individual, how rounded you are. How do you have common sense? Do you do well in a team environment? Are you kind? Are you compassionate? Are you aware of your surroundings? Are you actually aware of what is going on? Because when you are connected to your environment and your surroundings, there really isn't anything that you can't do, because that is you being in that moment. You're aware, you are you are able to read the situations and read what it is that those people are needing from you, or trying to communicate from you. So I'm a big believer in that also. It's not always about the best degree or the best this or whatever. And I really feel that a lot of teachers that I certainly come across have that in mind as well. And they're doing their best to support that. But it's not always easy in schools, I know, because there's a lot of work that needs to get done. But I really see that a lot more in the education system.
And a lot of people say to me, don't you wish you were a teacher? Wouldn't you train to be a teacher? And I wouldn't, because I love my job is a supported role, and I get to do the nurturing and the fun stuff. And I'm the one that notices if they're upset or they're falling out with their friends, and I'm the one they'll come to resolve that. And that's important. And I feel that's where my passion is. Yes, obviously you want everyone to learn, teaching children is great, but I like to teach them the other things. But you need to believe that yourself to be able to do it. And for example, I was on a Zoom the other day, and one of the girls sent a message, and it said, I don't know who it was meant for, but it was in the chat. It's just like, Miss Davis is so kind. And it was like, oh, that's really lovely. And I don't know who it was meant for. I don't know if it was meant for me or not. But, it was just, they've recognised the kindness, and that's what you want them to aspire to be. And I think just focusing on those values I think it's the only way we can tackle building them as people to be able to cope with everything going on in the outside world. And there's a lot going on, and it's probably only going to get worse. So I think if they've got that strength to just have that self-belief and believe that they are enough as they are, then that's got to go a long way and got to help.
I love that. And what a wonderful way to finish on, a wonderful comment to finish on. We are at half an hour already. Can you believe it? We've whizzed through. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. And if people want to get in touch with you, obviously you run Mini-Me yoga trainings. I know you do a lot of other things. You do one-to-ones. You're basically a super nanny. I'm just going to promote you. Okay. Wow. So if you are in West London or London area, and you want the help and advice of a super nanny, then Lisa is your lady, and she does many amazing things. Is it okay if we post your email address or some way for the people to contact you? Is that okay if we can put that in the comments?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
I shall do that. So thank you very much. And thank you everybody for watching.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And I can't wait to see what else is going on in the world, in your world, via Facebook. And
I have got something exciting I'm planning, so watch this space.
Yes, okay, we're on it. I shall be watching. I should be watching closely. We've got comments saying Lisa is amazing. We've just got and we got so true. Children should celebrate their individuality. So we've had some lovely comments coming through as well. So thank you. All right then. So take care for now, everybody. Goodbye.